Welcome back. A historic drought in South Africa's second-largest city has put its vines at risk and now threatens to jeopardize its entire activity. The drought afflicting the province is expected to cut agricultural output by 20% in 2018, decimating wheat crop and reducing apple, grape and pear export to Europe, according to the national government. Lynette Bahati and Barbara Lundu took interest in the story.
South Africa's city of Cape Town has been suffering its worst drought in more than a century. A state of natural disaster was declared last month, and residents have been restricted to just 50 liters of water per person per day. This region, famous for its wine vineyards, has seen its wine production drop by nearly 20% in 12 months.
Well, the berries are smaller to start with because they contain less water. And it really actually improves the quality to a certain extent, but it's not very sustainable to farm like that because the smaller your berry, the less is your yield. So you have a smaller harvest, and obviously when you have a smaller harvest, you have less wine to sell at the end of the day.
The famed winelands also bring millions of visitors to the region annually, and the Western Cape tourism sector alone sustains 300,000 jobs.
Obviously, we're looking into getting grape cultivars that can sustain the heat and the drought. Spanish cultivars are very popular, as well as Italian cultivars. That doesn't need as much water. So I think there will be a general shift, but it's very difficult because the market doesn't really know or recognize those wines.
The fruit farmers, however, remain concerned. By 2016, the region alone provided 20% of the wine and 16% of fruit juices consumed on the African continent.
In a situation like this, there's a very big focus on cutting costs as well, because you don't know what next year will hold for you. So there will be a negative impact on labor usage.
So perilous is Cape Town's economic situation that credit rating agency Moody's warned in January that if the crisis worsens, it could lead to the city losing its investment grade status.
This year, Ghana will become the continent's fastest growing economy for the first time in 30 years, taking over from Ethiopia and Côte d'Ivoire. The country's economic growth would increase by 8% this year, World Institution estimates. This performance is not just attributed to the vibrant production sector, nor the gradual rise in oil prices, but the growth is mainly hinged on the disciplined fiscal policy undertaken by the government. Mieva Komesi and Eriko Teng took a glimpse at Ghana's rising economy.
Ghana's economy is doing very well, so much so that it is expected to become the leading economy in Africa for 2018. The country's economic growth would increase from 6% in 2017 to 8% this year. Ghana will thus overtake Ethiopia and Ivory Coast, who are experiencing a slowdown in their economy. Yet Ghana has experienced slow economic growth in recent years, partly due to the fall in oil, gold and cocoa prices on the world market. The country's public debt has fallen from 73% to 30% of gross domestic product in the last decade. Ghana's prospect in becoming the leading economy in Africa hinges on the gradual rise in oil prices, as well as a vibrant production sector. This is also attributed to a disciplined fiscal policy undertaken by the government. President Akufo-Addo took strong measures upon assuming office in January 2017, particularly his fight against endemic corruption. The president last year announced that he did not want to ever again resort to the IMF or a rescue plan of this kind. In 2015, the IMF gave Ghana a loan of $980 million over 3 years, an agreement that ends in April 2018 and will not be renewed according to the government. It remains to be seen whether the Ghanaian economy will be strong enough to stay the distance and remain independent.
This is what we know how to do best, bringing the very latest update from the world of business with a Pan-African perspective. Thank you for watching. Let's get interactive. We'd love to hear from you via our social media platforms, Africanews, or you can reach me directly on Twitter, AfolakeG, and on Facebook, Afolake Oinloye. Till then, goodbye.